Coaching in Session.
Your exclusive destination for unparalleled personal and professional growth.
With your host, Michael Rearden.
Whether you choose to live within limits or break free, your mindset journey begins here.
Welcome, Galina, to Coaching in Session. How are you doing today?
Hello. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Of course, today we're going to be talking about a unique thing I have never heard of in my life until reading about you, the game of Leela. And we're going to be kind of diving into that and the benefits to that. But before we do that, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and how you help people?
So I'm Galina. Actually, I decided that I'm going to be called a sacred Sava, which Sava means owl in Russian. I'm a yoga teacher, meditation teacher, and a facilitator for the game of Leela. The way it's helping people, it's helping people having their balance in life. Kind of just helping you get through your life day by day, achieving your goals and keeping yourself centered.
There's an idea when it comes to balance that balance is this fictitious thing. So you can't have maybe a balance of the good things in life, like pizzas and cakes and ice creams. And you say, okay, I can't be eating this all day long. So you say, okay, even though I love it, I need to be with it in moderation. So you're not going to say, I'm going to have a cake on Monday, and then I'm going to have a cake on Tuesday and a cake on Friday. That's 3 days out of the week. So next week I have to either do 3 or 4 days to make everything balance. So we have to kind of look at, well, what are the things that are creating balance in our life? So some people don't use the word balance, but use the word harmony. So I wanted to ask you the question, is there a difference between balance and creating harmony in life?
I think actually they're very related because we can't avoid unpleasant situations in life. Life happens. Life just gets on our way, as people say. And to be able to kind of balance it all out, you need to learn that. And once you learn that, I think then you will feel harmony inside you. Once you master that balance, once you can say, you know what? I understand that right now I need time for myself, or right now I need some meditation, or today I need a walk, something. And once you have that, once you master that, then you can feel that harmony inside you. You can wake up in the morning and realize, wow, I feel amazing. And during the day, even if you're going through something rough, again, things happen. It can be work related, it can be relationship related, but you can totally understand and feel that, yes, right now I'm resolving this issue, but I know for sure inside I feel that harmony and my mind is clear, because our mind is like water. When it's clear, you can totally see everything on the bottom of the lake or sea, right? Every single stone. And when it's actually windy and the water is uncalm, that's it. You can't see clear anymore. So I think that by mastering that balance, you can keep your mind as clear as that water in any situation, even if it's rough, tough, you are emotional, but you still see very clear and you feel that harmony inside.
I like the way you put it. I always like to ask a question because there's a bigger purpose to the question too, because you do yoga and yoga is all about balance. And I remember when I was doing yoga, I did Bikram. Bikram is hot yoga. And so when I was doing Bikram, one of the battles was not so much of the postures and doing the balancing things. Yes, that was an aspect to it. But the greater component for me, or for most people who did Bikram, was being in the room. It's so hot in there. So one of the things the brain is doing, or it was doing for me, is saying, get out of here, you fool. What are you doing? And so it was uncomfortable. But I said, you know what? I'm going to be uncomfortable and I'm going to get used to being uncomfortable. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to start working on my balance because I don't care about being in this hot room. So let me look at the poses that I'm doing, the poses, going deeper. And one of the things that frustrated me with yoga, or not yoga in itself, but the journey of being a yogi in a sense, was some days you can do certain poses very easily, and some days you're stiff and it's very difficult to get the balance, and maybe your mind is frazzled, maybe similar to that water that, on a windy day where it's focused on all the things except the moment. And so I wanted to talk to you about the power of yoga and why you got into it and how it helps you with your mind in your life.
I got into it because I had a spine surgery over 10 years ago. And my surgeon was actually the one who told me, well, just go and do yoga and you'll be fine. Because, of course, there was lots of question. I had to learn how to walk again. And he's like, do yoga. When I clear you for that, go and do yoga. I'm like, okay, I'll try. And I tried the hot yoga. I thought I'm going to die. And I it was horrible, horrible. And I remember I'm reaching for my water bottle thinking, I need a break, I need my water bottle. And then the teacher goes, you don't want that water. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm dying
Hmm.
here. I'm fighting for my life. I need that sip of water. And she goes, no, your brain is lazy. And right now, because this pose is hard for you, your brain is looking for every single excuse to get out of this pose. Water is a perfect excuse. She's like, think about it. Just think about it. I'm like, okay, woman, okay, I'm going to believe you're not trying to kill me. It's 90 degrees in the room right now, and I'm all sweating, and I need that water. But actually, I'm like, okay, but that's how it started. And then 3 months after, I gave myself 3 months. I'm like, if after 3 months I'm still going to be dying every time I go there, I'll stop. But after 3 months, I couldn't imagine my life without it. And she was always saying something. She was always saying, like, you're holding the pose, you're struggling. She's like, okay, what about life? Think about life. If you're going through something that you don't like, you really need just to go through it, resolve it, and then it's going to be over and you can move on. If you're going to give up, the situation is not going to be resolved. It's still going to be there waiting for you, waiting for your attention. It will need you to come back, hold on, go through it, and then live on. And I was like, I'm just holding the pose. What are you talking about? Like I thought that everything she was saying at first, I was like, just stop talking, stop talking. Let me get through this. And then that was back in Dallas. Then we moved to Colorado, and I realized that everything she was saying had amazing meaning, and I needed to hear that. And I also realized that I'm implementing all that in my life, actually, that I'm just, there is a situation, I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to live through it, be done with it, and move on. And that's how yoga appeared in my life. And then it was lots of practicing all over the world, getting my knowledge, diving deeper, deeper, and deeper, realizing how much power we have inside us, that basically everything we need is inside. And by practicing yoga, you're calming your mind, you're going through that pose. It's not about balance. It's not about how you look in the mirror when you hold in certain pose. It's about you, your breath, your body. It's about being comfortable when you are uncomfortable, right? When you were at that room, you were holding that pose. You taught yourself to be comfortable when you are absolutely not comfortable. You want to leave this room, you want to get in a nice cold pool or something like that. That's how yoga appeared in my life. And the more I was teaching and the more I am teaching yoga, the more I see how people, when you see someone, when you see your students coming into the class and then leaving in total saying, oh, thank you so much. Oh, I needed it. And then you see them coming back, smiling. They're not coming there to be physically fit. They're coming there to be mentally fit, to have that moment. And I know for sure that they are taking it from yoga room into their life. So that's the story.
No, wonderful story. I loved it actually. When I started yoga, it was not because, of all the health benefits I thought for. I was like, oh, I'm listening to you and all the health benefits. It was because I was weightlifting and everything, and I was running 5Ks and I got hurt with my sciatica. And my brother was doing yoga at the time and he was like, it's really beneficial. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll try, but I'm thinking yoga is for girls. So I'm like, why am I going to do yoga? I'm in the gym lifting heavy weights. So I'm thinking like, why in the world am I going to do this? So I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to see how it was. And the first day I was wanting to drink my water. And I remember the instructors, they got to know me so well because I did it for, years. They would take my water sometimes if they saw me reaching it. Like they'll give me the look and they'll take my water and put it on the other side of the room. So sometimes I didn't even have water because they would take it from me. And it made me mentally tough. And it was very interesting because during that period of time, my sciatica went away. I felt so much more mentally fit than I did previously going to the gym alone. Because yes, you can lift a lot of weight and you can feel confidence, but confidence is very different than mental stability. So I wanted to bring into that question to you the difference between confidence and mental fortitude or mental toughness.
Well, I think that when you are mentally tough, you are confident. Let's say you are in a situation when somebody, I don't know, arguing with you, right? Trying to prove you the point. No, this is the right thing. But inside, you look at that person and you know exactly why that person is yelling, screaming. You know exactly how that person feels right now. And this is your mental toughness. And this also your confidence because you, again, your mind is as clear as water. No matter what's going on around you right now, you are so mentally mature or mentally tough, as we can say, that nothing can cause the storm in your stillness inside your head. I think that's basically it. No matter what's going on in any kind of situation, I mean, unless of course it's grief, then it's totally different. But in other situation in your life, you just know how that person feels exactly, and you know exactly why he or she is saying this and this and this right now, because she's hurt or he's hurt and he's just expressing all that. He's not really trying to hurt you. Like, you just see through everything is so clear, again, because your mind is so clear that nothing can really make you angry or nothing can ruin your day. Sometimes you're just getting your coffee at a cafe and someone can totally get you out of the mood by saying something, or some weird behavior, but you're just realizing it's early morning, everybody is grumpy, they need their coffee, and you'll just smile. You just realize why that person acting that way. Smile, get your coffee, gone. If you are not, then this will definitely affect you. A simple thing as someone, I don't know, trying to get in front of you in a line to your coffee, saying, move, like anything, and it will totally get you off. It will cause a little storm in your clear water. If you are mentally tough, confidence, I think it's when you are that kind of wise and mentally tough, you also understand what is confidence. Confidence is knowing that you are like what you're better than anyone else, but you totally understand that every single human being on this planet, doesn't matter what that human being is doing. Maybe that human being is your postman or a guy who's mopping the floor. They can still teach you something you don't know yet. So that kind of confidence is a little bit tricky for me. Yes, like I am confident, but at the same time, I'm realizing you know so much that I don't. And I will gladly accept it in my head and gladly learn new things from you. So I think confidence is just knowing that you have enough knowledge in certain areas and knowing yourself, but also realizing that, yeah, I don't know, oh wow, I didn't know that. Let me learn this from you. This is also probably also confidence, because you can accept it and then you can take yourself to the next level by learning something.
I remember on some days when I didn't feel like going to yoga, it was like a battle. And I remember just going or just waiting to go into the room. It was like, "Ah, man, I don't want to do it." But then after I felt so good that I did it, right? Like it was no confidence right there. It was no courage there. It was me just hungry for what I was going to get mentally from it at the end. Confidence was built, from doing the poses and getting better. The instructor coming saying you're getting good, you're more flexible, you're able to do this, right? You're making progress. And I think of how many people are so afraid to do something because they're afraid to look silly or afraid to not be able to do something. Like, I can't do this posture because of whatever XYZ excuse. And then you compare yourself to other people, and before you know it, you are just giving yourself all these excuses. So there's so many excuses that we can give ourselves to meditate or to do yoga, or maybe to even just simply do something that's going to get us in better shape, both physically and mentally. We make excuses so quickly. And I wanted to get into the game of Leela. The game of Leela is a an interesting topic, or an interesting way to view the totality of the things that we have been talking about and we will continue to be talking about. But in your own words, can you tell us what the game of Leela is, how it's structured, and of course, the benefits we would get from doing it continuously?
The game of Leela, I would say, is a tool. It's a tool that lets you keep yourself in check. Where I am in my life right now. What do I really want? Because sometimes we set ourselves a goal and we're doing everything to achieve that goal. But pretty often that goal is not our goal. That goal is actually been given to us by society we live in. That goal is something that everybody is telling you, you need to do this, you need to do that. Ever since we're born, you need to do, you need, you must, you have to, you better. But Game of Leela is an instrument that lets you truly look inside yourself and check in with yourself. Where I am, where am I going? Is my soul happy? Do I have that harmony inside me? Am I really on my path? Is this my path? Because sometimes people realize that this is not, like, actually this is not what I want to do. I want to do something different, but I had to do all that, and now I can finally listen to my soul and follow what my soul desires. That's kind of what happened to me, because I was in sales, and it's totally different life. You sell, compete. I'm the best. I'm in top 3 worldwide. And then I'm like, what am I doing? This is not what I want to do. I want to help people. This is not me. Though I was totally happy, complete, super. But it was not me. You listen to your soul, you check in with yourself. This was actually created over 2000 years ago by ancient yogis, because this is how they were kind of checking in with themselves. Where am I? What am I doing? Are there anything in my life that's on my way right now to my true happiness, to my soul goal? That's kind of a short explanation of it. Is the way it's structured is, you come with a question. You can say, how can I become complete and happy? You come in with a question, you throw a dice, you have to throw a 6. If it's not 6, the game is not letting you in. Maybe your question is wrong. Maybe your question is, again, not your question, not your true question. Then we kind of change the question a little. Usually I don't even ask, like, hey, what is your question? But if I see that there is no 6 and the person is getting frustrated, like, come on, it should be 6. Eventually it's going to be 6. No, it's not. There was a guy who spent 8 hours and left. He said, I don't know how it works. He was trying to prove that eventually the game will let me in. After 8 hours, he said, okay, I'm done trying. So you enter the game. Basically, it's like yoga. The game does have several layers, and each layer is your chakra. The goal is actually to exit the game, to kind of connect to a cosmic consciousness, to get the answer to your most important question. And traveling to that, you are going through your whole life situations. Sometimes people discover there is unresolved issue with the parents. There is this, there is that. And they're like, oh, wow, this is interesting, because yeah, I have that. I need to resolve it. I need to think about it. The game is just showing you everything that is blocking you from being happy and from having that harmony inside you. That's the thing.
I think of just how society is today, and it's so busy, but yet the game, you said, was 2,000 years old. So the same problems that they were having, I guess, with the mind and being clear and concise of what they should be doing with their life, is still something that we struggle with today. is this a human experience? Is it something that there's just so much that we possibly can do in the world? Because we could keep on doing sales. We could be an entrepreneur. We could be a yoga instructor. We could be a mindset coach. We could be a teacher. We could be a firefighter. We could be a policeman. There's so many options. And I think somewhere in the mind, we think, what if I make the wrong choice? What if I do something and I live a life that's not for me, or I live a life and I don't find fulfillment or happiness? And many people today, I know for sure, are living a life that they're not happy with, that they're not proud of, that is not true to who they are. And so, you know, we got here somehow, right? And, would you say this is just the human mind, the journey of life where we just kind of have to go through this challenge to figure out who we are? Because in a sense, if we think of the cosmic universe, wouldn't it be easier to get a flashcard saying what we need to do?
Well, without challenge, there is no change.
Mm,
You are you are in yoga, you went to the gym, you know that. No challenge, no change. Right? Like if you're going to the gym and you're doing super light weights and you kind of out in 10 minutes, nothing is going to change in your body, right? So I think that as humans, we just tend to appreciate something more if we had to fight for it. If you have a road to your happiness and harmony, if you're realizing you're not happy now, then when you are at the end of that road, you feeling happy, you are feeling harmony, you know exactly that right now your life is exactly what you needed, but you remember how it was, you remember, and then you starting to really appreciate it. So I think just it's totally normal. We all live in society, and you're looking at things saying like, he has such a cool car, I need that car. What you gonna do? You're gonna go work, make it your goal, money, get in that car, and then you're sitting in your car to do what? To show that guy that now you have the same. And yes, you're going to feel cool, you're going to be like, yay, it's amazing, you've been working so hard, you achieved your goal. But if you ask yourself, was it your goal? Is it something that really truly made you deeply happy? Because, in a few years, this car is going to be outdated. It's going to be new model. So what are we doing? Are we running, 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 running to, again, to do what? To possess that something that just brings you a joy for a very short period of time? What about your true happiness, all the things that you have, like that you've been doing to achieve that piece of your happiness? Was it really worth it? Were those things pleasant to you? And again, is your soul happy? Is it what your soul really wants? Because we all when we all come here, like our soul has a certain goal, I would say, or maybe has a certain way or path. And sometimes when we do something, we have that feeling inside that they don't want to do this. Maybe it's a new job that you've been offered and it's a really good salary, but you have that feeling inside that somehow I don't want to accept that offer. I don't know why. That's because your soul is telling you, this is not why I'm here. This is not why we are here. Let's steer off it and see what else is there. But so often we won't even listen to that voice. We've been ignoring that inner voice for such a long time that it's not going to try to tell us something, because again, good offer, this is what we need, got it, doing it. That's usually the thing.
all powerful things. I know when it comes to materialistic wealth or the idea of having a fast car or nice clothes, people think they can buy their happiness. And it's kind of funny because these same individuals will spend more money on their kids thinking that their kids are going to be happy with how much money they're spending. Yet, if we look at kids and how they are raised and developed, a family who has nothing but their time that they give their children are more happier in the end. So it's not about the money, it's not about the materialistic things, but yet our society definitely promotes it very readily. And I just can't tell you how many people they, make it to the top, and then they start looking for fulfillment. It wasn't on their journey, right? They thought they can just kind of do it later. They'll be happy later. they, start having midlife crises, that we can look at all of the things that people go through because they are not living true to themselves. And sometimes they fall into it because of circumstance. For
Mhm.
example, let's say you're 18, 19, 20, you're very young, and maybe you are going to have a baby. So you're starting a family early, right? So now you're like, well, I have to go work. So maybe the first job that comes your way might not be your calling, but it's the job you take. And it might be the job you stick with. And yeah, sure, you might enjoy your job. Yes, you might be able to make ends meet, but life is not about just enjoying what you do all the time or just making end meet at the end of the week. There's something profound when you truly find it. It's like, I can't believe I was missing this. I akin it to sometimes you try food from a different country. It could be, like if I went to Russia, I'm not familiar with, Russian foods, but if I tried something, I'm going to get a different flavor, a different taste of a culture I've never experienced in my life before. And I'm going to say, I've been missing this for 36 years of my life. I never knew, right? So many people don't know what they can get. So we do have to look at ourselves and reflect of how vast the world is and how vast opportunities in our journey can become. When I go hiking, I would be on the trail sometimes, and I would say, you know what, I can go off the trail and it'll be more dangerous and it's more leaves and the road is not so nice. So you're slipping and sliding. Sometimes there's a lot of trees in the way. There's a lot of obstacles. So basically, people don't want to go hiking with me because I'm doing all the crazy stuff. Sometimes I get lost in the forest and they're like, are we lost? I'm like, yes, we're lost, but we'll find a way out. And I'm here to tell you that I am still alive today, right? I made it out. But many people, they would just stay on the trail that was already walked for them, the trail that was already, etched and, so graciously put for us. So, the idea that we can forge our own path is something that many people know about, but not many people dare to do. Why are so many people afraid to walk that path and look for their true answer?
Well, it's getting out of your comfort zone. It's scary. You don't know what is there, which if you follow that path on your hike that someone else has created for you, you see all the signs, you know exactly how many miles, you know it's going to end over there, you know it's going to be a bathroom somewhere in the middle or some water fountain, whatever. You know exactly what to expect. You know what you're doing. If you go off the trail, oh my God, what if you're going to feel uncomfortable? What if there's going to be mud? What if you'll get lost for a little bit and you'll feel, a little bit scared? What if you're going to be thirsty and there's going to be no water? Oh my gosh. People are used to comfort. And people do value their comfort so much. They are scared to take even one teeny tiny step left, right, whatever, any direction away from the path that someone has already walked for them, that they are ready to give up exploration, new emotions, new flavors, new views, new air, totally new everything, just to keep their comfort. I'm so comfy here. Why would I get out? I don't know. Where are you inviting me? How long is it going to take us, right? And you're going to say, I don't know. Let's just go and see. Is it 5? What if it's going to be dark when coming back, right? You can say, don't worry about it. We'll see the lights. We'll get out to the path, but we're going to explore. Maybe we'll find a teeny tiny spot that's going to be our secret spot for now, and we're going to be going there for little picnics or whatever. We can show it to our kids, but people are scared to do all that. I don't need it. I'd rather have my safe walkway that someone else created for me. This is nobody's path, no one's. It's just been created so you can go and explore and know how many miles. It's all about comfort. It's normal. I mean, we're human beings, and people are scared. What if I'm gonna do something, and what if I'm not gonna have enough money? I'm gonna feel very insecure. No, this is why, like, lots of people just simply they stay where they at. That's why they stick to the jobs that they despise, and every morning they just, I'm gonna I'm just going to go through this day. It doesn't have to be like that. You can enjoy what you do. And when you enjoy doing what you're doing, money will come. You'll cover all your expenses that needed because you're vibrating with the universe. It's all same vibrations. And when you're happy and exploring and opening new things, you are ready for that. And the universe is just going to show you, oh, hi, curious one, let me take you, let me show you, let's go, I'll show you everything, I'll take care of you. That's it. If you're scared, stay on your path. But if you dare to explore, there is a whole world.
I'm just thinking, I have all these dice right here. Let me get them. Look at all these dice look at all these dice. I have too many dice here.
Wow.
And I have a lot of dice because I use it for some clients. How would one play? So we roll the dice, one dice, and we have to get a 6. So we ask a question, we roll the dice, and we have to get a 6, correct?
Yes.
And when I get my question answered or something, do I keep rolling and keep asking questions?
Yes. So, well, the field for the game, mine is pretty big. So basically, it's like a game, right? Like a board game. You can consider it a board game. You use a little something, usually a ring. You put it on as your figure. This is what you're moving when you're moving through the game. Only you touch it because it's your energy. You ask a question, roll the dice. If it's 6, you enter in the game. And once you enter the game, that means the game has accepted you. Your question will be answered. You ask the right question. And the game is telling you that, imagine you were just born. You were just born a second ago. So the game basically is asking you to kind of forget yourself and be completely open to whatever universe wants to tell you, because it's very hard to fill the glass that's already full. The game is asking you to empty your glass and let's go. I will show you, but you need to be ready to completely perceive whatever is given. That's the first thing. So when you're thinking about all that, like, okay, I'm ready. Like if as a player you're thinking, okay, I'm ready, so that's it, I'm done, I'm ready, I'm opened, show me, I'm ready. All the lessons that you want to show me. If you're thinking right, you throw in the dice. It can be 5 or 6, whatever, and you just move in, you just square after square. And there is a next step can be, the game can show you, for example, there is a little square that's called bad company. That means the game is asking you to think about everyone around you, which will be crucial for you to get to your goal. The game is asking you, okay, think about people in your life. Think about who you're surrounding yourself with. Are they your true friends, or are they there just because, just because they are there for you? Are they really happy for you when you're happy? Can they really, truly share your happiness and success? Because that's the hardest part. As soon as you get in a little bit somewhere in your life, that's the hardest part, to share someone's success, to truly celebrate someone's success. For example, that's one of the squares. Another square is, and you throw a dice. So you're thinking about it. I got you. Okay, I need to realize who I surrounded with. I need to really think about it. Okay, you throw in the dice. If you're thinking right, the game can even take you to a square with an arrow, and it takes you all the way up, as close to the exit as possible. If you're thinking wrong, there are also snakes in that game that bites you. You can be all the way up. You can be thinking, just, I need the 3 and I'm out. Boom, there is a snake. It bites you, takes you all the way down. You start from 6. It can take you all the way to 1, showing you that you didn't get it. You're thinking wrong. It's all about what you're thinking. Some people say it's a karma that, throws the dice for you. Some people say it's God, it's universe, it's your subconscious mind. But the truth is, you really connected to the universe. I'm a pretty strong channeler, and it just shows you everything. There was a woman. She was asking, her question was if she needs divorce or not. And the game took her to the little square that's actually called a taste. And if you think about it, taste, like, come on, what taste? And she's like, I know exactly what it's telling me. Apparently, they planned a trip to Europe right after the wedding, they wanted to go to Europe and they wanted to explore. They're big time foodies. Explore, eat, try new food, but then kids got on the way, business, blah, blah, blah. And then 5 years later, that trip has never happened. So usually you would have a notepad and you're writing things down. 6 months later, she finished the game. 6 months later, she texted me, Galina, thank you so much. We organized everything, grannies, nannies, everything we could. We put everything on pause, just two of us, 2 weeks in Europe. We had a blast. We are connected again. Now I feel like I'm his wife, he's my husband. We are back to being a couple. We are stronger than ever. Divorce is no longer on the plate. Thank you so much for playing this game with me. So it just shows you sometimes little things that you won't even think about. For some girl, it was a perfume. And there is a little square that's called scent. And I asked her, do you have anything going on in your life that's connected with the scent? She's like, yeah, actually, my husband told me that I used to wear a perfume he really loved when we started dating. And I stopped it because, again, kids, work, this, that. And the question was again about relationship. And after this game, she wrote it down. She's like, I really need to think about it. She wrote it down. She found that perfume, bought it again, started wearing it, reminded him immediately about their dating time. So he asked her out to a nice place, took care of the kids, nannies, all that stuff. And relationship just bursted back. Someone changes their life completely. One woman found out that she was living not her life. She changed everything. Huge business, but she arranged it in a way that now she's actually baking desserts. And she loves it. She's like, I'm the happiest person in this world. She's like, you know what? I have everything, house, cars, everything, like my kids, everything is good. But she just had that feeling that something is off. And now she's baking her desserts and she's like, I never felt like that before. She's like, this is me. She's like, she's like, I think I was like some kind of a baker in my past life. She's like, I can't even explain you how much I'm really living right now. She's like, I feel like I didn't live. She felt like she only started living and enjoying the life in fullest only when she found that. It's a bunch of changes, but this is how it works basically. The game, it's like when you come to psychologist, you're saying, okay, this is my problem, let's discuss it. If you come to the game of Leela, the game shows you, here are your problems. Maybe not problems, but just here are all the things you need to think about. It's like a yoga mat for your brain. It is pretty intense because it's going to show you all your past, everything. Sometimes we have certain situation in the past, we kind of shut that door and we don't want to go back there. But if you're not going to go back there and live through this situation, hold that pose, right? Just hold it. Just grind your teeth and do it. You can't get where you need to be in your life because you need to live it through. You need not to just put a bandage. You need to take that bandage off, heal it completely, and then you can move on.
hmm
Kinda.
It's very reminiscent of some American games like Candyland, Shoots and Ladders, but this is definitely more profound in the sense of mindset and learning about yourself and what you could do possibly next. Like it's a thinking game more than just Monopoly, where you just kind of roll the dice, you move some pieces, you give the person some money, or do you not give the person some money? Do you buy the property or do you not buy the property? And I think this is a more profound way to spend time with family and friends, especially when you're trying to deepen not only an understanding of who you are, but but connection, right? And it doesn't just have to be connection with the people you play with, but the people that you love most in life. Because maybe if you're playing with your son or your daughter, maybe they have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and maybe they're, like their mind is saying, okay, is this something I need to be looking at, right? And let me ask the right questions. And I think it's a wonderful tool for adults, especially, that they can say, hey, let me check in, because we get so busy with our smartphones or emails or something, and we get so distracted. And this is a wonderful opportunity for people to say, hey, let me slow down, let me roll the dice, let me figure out what's going on. And so my final question is there an age limit, or is there an appropriate age for this game for someone to dive into if they want to learn how to play?
Yes. Well, first of all, you can't really learn how to play. There is no instructions really for the game. It took me over 10 years going through like ancient Indian like manuscripts translated to English and Russian just to kind of figure out what it is. And I would say yes, definitely. This is adults only. You can't. Maybe you can play it as a teenager, but a teenager would never play. Usually people play by themselves. It's facilitator and the player. That's it. Because usually you're not ready to share certain things about yourself, especially for teenagers. They won't play with anyone else. They won't even play at all. Some of them were just like, "You kidding me? No, no, my head, no." So usually it's an adult. It's an adult who who has some experience in life and who is really ready to change the life for good. Because after this game, your life will change. That's it. This is it. This is your first step to actually changing your life completely. So it's for someone who's saying, okay, I'm ready to be happy, I'm ready to feel that harmony, I'm ready, let me look into this and let me see, just show me which way do I go. Sometimes people do that to do some important decisions. Well, like I had a question, should I homeschool my kids? The woman was just, she's like, I don't know, I'm running in circles, I'm just, I have to realize this is very important. If we do that, I'm leaving my job, stopping my career, it has to be some changes in our house, this. And she went through the game, she made her decision that made her completely happy. She's like, yeah, it definitely feels like a good decision right now, I'm very firm that it was a good one. But it's not a, it's not an easy game that you play to kind of entertain yourself. It's the game that you play if you're ready for that hot yoga 90-minute session where you're going to struggle, but you're going to feel happy at the end, type of deal. It takes about 1 hour to 4 hours usually. It takes lots of emotions, sometimes crying, and it is tough. It is truly tough because usually the people who play, they are super happy. They have their lives, they're like figured out, wealthy, they got it. That's it. They got it. And they're like, I feel something. I feel something. Let's do it. I want to see what's missing. And then they are so surprised. And of course it's a lot. It's just a lot. You feel like you're opening yourself, looking inside with a light, searching for things that you missed. And then you're closing yourself. Then you have to digest all that, process all that, and continue living. But definitely life changes drastically, big changes. You can't live like you used to live after playing this game, that's for sure.
Hmm. And I'm sure not everyone has 10 years. And I always say, like, if you have a coach, a guide, a mentor, a facilitator, just like yourself, you can do so much quicker. Because when someone is on a journey and they're doing everything by themselves, I'd like to use camping as the analogy, where if you're camping, you have to make the fire, you have to put up the tent, you have to get the firewood, you have to, I don't know, make sure everything is safe. There's no wild animals. So there's a lot that you have to do, and you're all by yourself. And camping by yourself can be fun, but it is mentally draining when you're doing it by yourself. So I always tell people, like, if you just have another person, again, a mentor, a guide, a coach, a facilitator, a teacher, whoever, to go with you on the journey, to ask the questions, to be there, to listen. It is so much more profound. Like, we're not meant to be on this earth and to not look at our neighbor, to look for assistance or to look for help or to look for guidance. Some of the most profound teachers and philosophers, they had mentors and they had teachers that they learned from. So this is not something where we say, okay, well, this is my life and I'm going to live accordingly to me. Yeah, sure, you can think that, but it goes back to something you said. Many people think they're living a life that's true to them, but it's actually one that society said you should be living. So the house the big house that you needed, okay, society told you needed that. The car that you're driving, someone said if you want to be wealthy, you have to have a BMW, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, or something, right? So these people are telling you things, and you think you're living according to you. But if you can step back and slow down and say, hey, let me find someone who can, help me find what my true meaning is and to find the true structure. And I'm looking at the game just right now, and it is extremely complex. And when it comes to things that are complex, yes, you can spend 10 years and learn it yourself, or you can say, I'm ready for change now. So, where could people find you, Galina? So if they wanted to go on this journey with you, to look at the game of Leah, to ask the questions that maybe is burning inside of them, or maybe even things that they're curious about or they don't know the answers to, what would be the best way for people to contact you?
They can find me on my Instagram, which is sacred.sava, S-O-V-A. Sava means owl in Russian. And they can also find me on my website, sacredsava.com. They can always send me a message on my Instagram, and they can always connect through the website, also sending me a message. But I just also wanted to say, just like you said, it's like yoga practice. You can do yoga by yourself. You can hurt yourself, break some bones, then heal, and then say, oh, okay, this is how it's supposed to be done. Or you can have an instructor who's going to be guiding you, and you listening to your body, you choosing, am I doing a lighter version of this pose, kind of in the middle, or do I want to go full blown advanced because I have an instructor and she can show me, or he can show me how to do it safely and get where I want. That's exactly the thing. Yeah, it's a website, sacredsava.com, my Instagram, sacred.sava. Just shoot me a message, ask me any questions that you have. I'm always available to answer. And I can't even explain or put it in words. When you play with a person, when you see at the end of a game, I know for sure how exhausted the player is right now. But then after a few months, when you get that text message or a phone call, usually people then give this as a present. I know I have a list of people who I know will benefit from it. I'm going to give it to them as a present, and that's how it works. But after a few months, when you get in that text, thank you, this and this changed in my life, this is my life right now, I can't even tell you how fulfilling this is. And when I read those texts, it's always a huge smile, sometimes a couple of tears, I'm not gonna lie, but it's truly amazing. It's truly amazing to see how life changes, and all it takes a few hours with the game.
I'm excited for people to be reaching out to you. I'm going to make it very easy for everyone. All the links are right down below. It is a unique way of looking at your mind. When I look at going to the gym, for example, yeah, you could watch some YouTube videos and you can say, okay, I got to do this, and you copy it and you mimic it. But when it comes to yoga, just even yoga, not even the game of Leela, like the game of Leela yet, but just looking at yoga, yeah, you can do some of the postures, but man, you are doing it so wrong. Because if you get an instructor, they're like, nope, they're moving you left and right, and you thought you were doing it right. You looked in the mirror a little bit, you thought it was perfect. There is so much room for improvement, and it's not to discourage you to say, that what you have right now is not perfect or is not good enough. Is more of the idea that there's so much more for you. There's so much more out there. There's so much room for you to be more than who you are right now. Because I can't tell you how many people they will say, Mike, I feel stuck, like I feel lost. And it's you literally living in your current circumstance, not looking at the small changes you have to do. So today can be that small change. Today can be the day you say, I'm going to take some action. It could be small. It could be reaching out to Galina. It could be inquiring about her work. It could be looking at diving into the game of Leela. It could be looking at yoga practices, things along those lines. All of these things are going to be beneficial for you for the long term. And we have to get our mindset ready and akin for change, for our journey, and for the people that we, in a sense, were destined to be. So stop holding yourself back. Get into the mindset that change can happen today, but you have to make sure you have the good guide, the good teacher, the good facilitator that's going to make the journey so much more wonderful. So I do want to thank you, Galina, for coming on, spending some time and talking about your work.
Thank you so much. It was really lovely.